Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again to return to the Fabled Lands, where unfortunately last time poor Fania was inflicted with something horrific after being bitten by a ghoul. Now unfortunately this is going to take quite a lot to cure, so we're going to take some unusual steps. I think the time has come to sell this spear. Now it's a good spear, it's a nice spear, and we got it as a reward for fighting a very dangerous monster that was using the spear. However, while it would be nice to keep the spear and keep on going, we're out of money and we really need to try and find a cure for this plague. So I'm going to try and sell the spear and then go up to the Holy Springs and pay to be healed. It's regrettable. Now that costs about 30 shards, maybe a bit more. So I'm going to hold off buying any more arrows for a while. Also, while I'm up there, I'll try and drop off the holy stuff for the Druids. So I'm going to go to Venofax first of all. Venofax is a strange looking village. It looks like a single gigantic building. All the houses are joined together to form a jumbled mass, and none of the houses have doors. The only way in is through holes in the roof. Ladders lead up to the roof, which in effect forms a network of streets that the inhabitants travel across to get to certain buildings. I'm just going to pause here for one moment. Great, now I'm back. We had to build it that way for defence, says a passing farmer. You see, the Scorpion men from the south can't climb, so they can't get inside the town. See? Wandering around, you clamber down a ladder into a long, low hall, the Venofax Market. A sign reads, "Closed on Thursday." Fortunately, it's not Thursday, and a stocky, barrel-chested man with piggy eyes introduces himself as Fours, the master of the market. There's not much for you to buy or sell in this provincial market. Items of no purchase price are not available locally. Well, I'm going to depart for now, but I'll be coming back here at some point. So, I need to be finding a way to make shards. Good ways to do that would be the Rat King quest, the Sea People quest, but I'm not quite ready. You're on the road between Blessed Springs and Venofax. Pilgrims for sick and injured travel this route to the holy waters of Blessed Springs to find salvation. That would be great. And we're attacked by mad pilgrims. You're attacked by mad pilgrims. You must fight. Oh, great. That's all I need. With the disease hampering my combat capability. Okay, 2 mad pilgrims. I think we can work with this. Let's drop a bear while we can. Bear, you get to defend. Let's mark you. And that's why. Hooray! And now the bear takes massive damage and we've run out of arrows. So we want to swap weapons and move to here. Bear, get him. Uh-oh. Oh, this is going to get dangerous now. Hooray! You win the fight. A quick search of their pockets and you find a potion of godliness and a staff. You know what? Before making an ability roll or before entering combat, adds 1 sanctity for that roll or that combat only. Alright. More importantly, we have a weapon once again. You know, it's no spear, but it'll do. Now we'll head on up to the Blessed Springs. The village of Blessed Springs, nestling at the foot of a tall hill, has grown up around the holy waters. It's a special spring, said to have healing powers. It has been fenced off by the villagers and a priesthood appointed to supervise the supplicants who come to bathe or drink of the spring's waters. There's no market, but an alchemist has set up shop here. That's what I get for recording at 3 in the morning. You've heard stories of the holy spring and its healing powers. The village has basically grown around it, and you have limited places to openly go to due to the guards hired by the priests of Mulhern to patrol the area. Still, you think that you can pay a visit to the holy waters? Absolutely. A wooden stockade encloses the springs. At the gate, 2 militiamen stand on guard, and a priest dressed in blue robes sits behind a desk. 35 shards to enjoy the divine spa, says the priest. We shall absolutely pay this. You find a wide pool of bubbling electric blue water. It gives off a strong, invigorating scent like crushed pine leaves. We shall bathe in the waters. You strip off and wade into the bubbling waters. The effect is astonishing. You feel a sense of well-being coursing through your body. If you are suffering from disease or poison, you are cured instantly and can restore your abilities to normal. When you are ready, you leave the area. So it's not quite a total heal then. Now, from here, I'm going to go north to Fort Brylon. Fort Brylon, named after a Sakaran king of the First Dynasty, is the southernmost castle on the fortified wall that keeps out the rabid, savage man-beasts. And yes, dear internet, rabid is not a word. Look it up in the dictionary. What the soldiers fear most is what they call death duty, going out on patrols beyond the wall into Nerech itself. The roads are patrolled by troopers of the Sakaran army. The fort is well supplied from Blessed Springs and traffic abounds. Let's roll and hope nothing too bad happens. Nothing too bad happens at all, although there's a peculiar find, something we should look into. So maybe we want to be returning here a few times. Let's go off to these farmlands. Because when I get down to Karambaru, maybe I'll be able to buy some arrows. You're crossing an area of fertile farmland where much of the food is grown to feed the army. Little farmsteads dot the landscape, and the ploughed fields have the appearance of a patchwork quilt. Find an item! You find some leather armor. Well, you know what? I'll take that. We have some already, which means we can sell it. Karambaru is a medium-sized town that acts as a way station between the citadel to the north and the rich towns of the south. It is a garrison town. Many supplies, arms, and soldiers move through Karambaru on the north-south trail. Shops, temples, traders and the like have sprung up here to serve the needs of the military. There is also a sizable mining community, for the mines of Sakara lie in the Bronze Hills just outside town, and a slave market where poor unfortunates sold into slavery are brought to work for mines. The Karanbaru market consists of several covered arcades. Much of its stock is for miners and soldiers, and it is run with business-like efficiency by the Sakaran military. I don't suppose they want to buy my leather armor. It's not a high priority for them. But I can still make some money from it. I would like to buy some arrows. I'm going to go for about 6. Then I will leave and head down towards the forest here. The road is nearly blocked by wagons and supply convoys. A troop of soldiers forces its way through the throng. The men bang heads indiscriminately to clear people out of the way. Not my head, fortunately. Down here, we have a wonderful roadside tavern, which I should have probably... Well, I'm extremely grateful to reach it. You join the much-travelled road that connects Trefoil and Karanbaru. The traffic mostly consists of troops and supplies. Eventually, you come to the weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between the cities. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you recover 1 stamina point, if injured, up to a limit of your normal and wounded stamina score. Let's absolutely do that. And then head back down to Yellowport. Yellowport is the second largest city in Saqqara. It is mainly a trading town and is known for its exotic goods from distant Ankon Konu way to the south. The Stinking River brings rich deposits of sulfur from the Lake of the Sea Dragon down to the town, where it is extracted and stored in the large waterfront warehouses run by the Merchants Guild. From here, the mineral is exported all over Harkuna. Unfortunately, all that sulfur has its drawbacks. The stink is abominable, and much of the city is a yellowish hue. The river is so full of sulfur that it is virtually useless as a source of food or of drinking water. However, the demand for sulfur, especially from the Sorcerers Guilds, is great. Politically, much has changed in the past few years. The old and corrupt king of Saqqara, Corim VII, has been deposed and executed in a military coup. General Grieve Marlock and the army now control Saqqara. The old council of Yellowport has been indefinitely dissolved, and a provost marshal, Marbles Marlock, the general's brother, appointed as military governor of the town. To leave Yellowport by sea, buy or sell ships and cargo, go to the harbour master. You know, I shall go to the harbour master. Let's book passage to the Isle of the Druids. A bark headed for the Isle of Druids to buy furs is prepared to take you. Cross off 15 shards. The journey across the Sea of Whispers is uneventful, and you dock at the trading post on the island a week or so later. So the Isle of the Druids might sell furs. The trading post is a small village set up here by enterprising settlers from the mainland. Its main export appears to be furs from the forest. The mayor, a fat, genial fellow who greets you personally, insists that one day the trading post will be a thriving town. There's not a lot here yet, however. A small market, a quay, the settlers' houses, and a shrine to Lacuna, the huntress, goddess of nature. So if I go pay a visit to the quayside, so furs can be purchased here for 130, for 135, sold here for 130. However, that's cargo. To get cargo, we'd need crew and a ship. So we'd need quite a bit of money. Quite a lot more than we have. I messed up, didn't I? I completely messed up. I did. Oh well. Back to the Standing Stones. That's a message sorely learned. Because I did not drop off the oak staff. So we're going to teleport back to Yellowport. Go up to Trefoil. The main road between Marlock City, Trefoil and Karambaru is well maintained with regular guard posts. The Sakarans are nothing if not efficient. Well then, we have a mercifully uneventful journey. The city of Trefoil is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out hulk. It was almost razed to the ground when it declared for the late king during the recent civil war and tried to hold out against the army of Grieve Marlock, the current Protector General of Sakara. It was then sacked by the general's mercenaries, and General Marlock is now trying to rebuild it. Craftsmen are here hard at work everywhere. Unfortunately, there is nothing here but ashes and rubble, and we might want to look for some kind of wizard here in the future. However, for now, we're heading up to a road town, where we are now going to go off into the Forest of Larun, which we should have done earlier. The Forest of Larun is a mighty swathe of densely packed trees, a slice of primordial nature in the middle of busy, industrious Sakara. You thread your way through the ranks of trees. In places, the forest canopy almost blocks out the sunlight completely, and you are wandering in deep shadow, haunted by the cries of the creatures of the forest. You're on a quest to take the oak staff to the willow druid who lives in a sacred grove somewhere in the forest. You wander around looking for unusual tracks, strange creatures, anything that might lead you to a druid's den. Well, that was good enough. You come across a forest glade. Birds twitter in the trees and woodland animals frolic playfully about. In the middle of the glade stands a mighty willow, ancient beyond reckoning. The trunk is hollow and a wooden door has been set in the entrance. You step into the glade. We need a 9, we got a 3, so we need a 7. You know what? We have a potion for this. There we go. And we fail. Your mind is blasted into numb confusion by the protective spells that guard the sacred grove. You wander off aimlessly into the forest and get hopelessly lost for days. You don't even have the wit to eat or drink. You wander around for days. That's not good. You wander around for days until you finally emerge at the Bronze Hills. You're walking through the Bronze Hills. Virtually the whole area has been given over to mining. Everywhere, quarries and mine shafts abound. It is a horrible expanse of torn up earth. Hardly any areas of green are left. Great clumps of excavated rock, leached of their useful minerals, mar the landscape. You find a quarry that is open to the public. That is to say, if you pay 50 shards, you can dig for an hour in a silver mine. I have no shards. I shall return to Karambaru. And then down the main road. Hope we don't get bashed on the head. We don't. That's great. We'll go back into the forest. I'll try one more time. This roll, that's not good. Much to your embarrassment, you get lost in the forest, wander around for days, and end up back at the Bronze Hills. Okay, that is pretty bad. Let's go to the inn, heal up. We got 6 arrows. We better try... Oh, mistaken for a beggar. You're mistaken for a beggar and receive 10 shards from a passing priest. That's most kind. Let's go to the Lake of the Sea Dragon, because I've never been there before. You are up the stinking river near its source, the Lake of the Sea Dragon. From here the yellow waters rush down to the sea. The smell of bubbling sulphur-laden water is abominable. The shores of the lake are swept by ochre waves and the air smells foul. The sickly pale green seaweed is the only vegetation that can survive in the sulphurous waters of the lake. A small fishing village, Cadmium, has grown up on the shores of the lake. Well, hey, maybe they've got smolder fish. Now, why would I buy smolder fish here? There must be some demand for them somewhere else. Silver ingot. That is expensive. There's got to be a place where there's a higher selling price. They're not looking to buy anything. Fair enough. Let's explore though. The local village is very small, with very limited options to explore. Maybe you could try... talk to a fisherman. Fishing, you ask? Surely nothing can live in these poisonous waters. The fisherman shows you a bright yellow fish with grey stripes, saying, "Only the smolder fish is adapted to the sulphur. It feeds on the local seaweed. Mind you, the smolder fish is totally inedible." Well, why hunt it then? Well, each fish is worth quite a bit to sorcerers and the like. We have a standing quota to fill each month with the magical colleges at Glimmer. The sulphur-laden organs burn in a particular way, a very useful ingredient in certain magics, I am told. And where does all this sulphur come from? Scholars say there is an underground volcanic vent. Others believe it is the breath of the sea dragon. Personally, I always drop a silver nugget into the water once a month to appease the dragon, for his favourite metal is silver. You mean to tell me there could be silver in the water? Maybe we should hire a boat and go fishing. Oh, that's 15 shards. If we pay that, we can't get back to the island of the Druids, so let's not. Not yet, at any rate. So I'm thinking East Road, then south to Venofax. Ah, blessed by a priest. You're blessed by a priest. You gain the safety from Storm's blessing. Wonderful, we might just need it. So, back in Venofax, we're going to explore. And we're going to chat with villagers on the rooftop. A small boy runs up to you saying, "Help us! Help us! The man-eating, bloodthirsty gobbler has got my little sister!" His mother, a flaxen-haired beauty, comes up behind him. "Surely you mean bloodthirsty, not bloodthirsty," you ask. "Oh no," replies the young mother. "The man-eating, bloodthirsty gobbler is so named because it hunts only on Thursdays." The boy's name is Mikhail and his mother is Lynn. Her husband is away in the army and her young daughter Haley was taken by the beast last Thursday. Apparently several people have disappeared and never to be seen again. "Please help us," plead the villagers. Well, we absolutely shall. And let's hope the upcoming battle is not too difficult. Hey, also... where's the button? Is it that one? Yeah, that one. You wait until Thursday. Lynn tells you that the disappearances happened a little way out of town near an old farmhouse. As you leave town, you notice Fours, the master of the market, heading in the opposite direction. Well, let's absolutely follow him. After a while, Fours circles round, heading across country. You trail Fours to the old farm. He goes inside and you creep to see what he is doing. 3 rough-looking thugs are helping Fours get into what is obviously a monster suit. It's a bit like a giant hairy toad, made of the hide of some animal stretched over a wooden framework. So much for the dreaded gobbler. You wait by the door. As the thugs emerge, you club one to the ground, but you'll have to fight the other two. So, here's what happened. At one point, the developer decided that one of these two individuals had to be Thors. And the reason I had a bug in the last fight was I backed into a corner with a piece of blocking scenery so I couldn't get out, and Thors came and stood in front of me and I knocked him unconscious. And because he needs to be alive at the end of the fight, I couldn't interact with the other thug who was like way back here, and couldn't end my turn. Now my understanding and my reading of it was always that I beat one of the thugs to the ground, I fight the other two thugs, but then afterwards Thors is like cowering at the back hiding in his costume and doesn't take part in the fight. Right, I'm going to drop a bear, because why would I not? Bear, defend. We're just gonna shoot this one. Can we back up? We can, and probably should. Bear, have him. I mean, okay, it wasn't ideal, but we got him. That's great. Bear, defend. We're going to run out of arrows. Ah, that is really tragic. Get him! Oh yeah. Do we have... what's the reach on this? It's 6 to attack, so... yeah, we'll just shoot him. Okay. After a beating you served Thors and his accomplices, you wake him up with a bucket of cold water. He's eager to run off at the sight of a hardened adventuress, rather than a timid villager. He surrenders and confesses all. He terrified people with a monster disguise to keep them away from the farm. He and his men were kidnapping villagers, chaining them in the cellar below and selling them to a slaver in Karan Baru. Sorry, a slaver from Karan Baru for work in the slave mine, so they're not taking people away there to send people. You find Haley and several other villagers down below in the cellar. Oh, don't hurt me, begs Thors. I'm only trying to make a few shards. What, by selling your own people into slavery, says one of the villagers, giving him a good kick. You lead them back to Venofax. Haley runs into her mother's arms for a tearful reunion. Lynn, the mother, gives you a suit of chainmail and a sword. Take those. These have been in the family for generations. It's all I have to give, she says. Thors is hauled off to the local magistrate for judgment. He will probably be sold into slavery. The villagers welcome you as one of their own, as the one who brought Thors to justice and saved their people from slavery. Apologies for the burp there. It was rather unexpected. Venofax is a strange-looking village, and we're back to the village description. Okay, so we're going to leave and get back down to Yellowport. Are we? Right? No, no, no. Let's think a minute. How good is this sword? Cheaper attacks. 1-6 damage instead of 1-7, and there's no reach difference, but that action means I can move and attack instead of just having to attack, and I can also swap weapons and attack, so that is a good trade. In terms of the armor, it's an extra 2 protection. I don't know, let's go down to Yellowport and check. And what are they looking to buy here? So, heavy armors, but I can't afford here. Well, they're not for sale here. Silver, which we could get up. Okay, hold on. So we'll sell this. I'm liking this dumb idea. What would that sell for? 180. Now that's good money. And if we were to purchase a ship, that would almost get us a small bark. Okay. So if I go back up through Venofax to the Stinking River, and now... Wait, what? The Stinking River has cut its way through the high ground here. On the edge of the chasm that overlooks the river lies the village of High Fedis. The locals are behaving very oddly. You watch the villagers lay out a fine feast on the village green. A pig is set roasting on a spit. Loaves of freshly baked bread are piled up beside bowls overflowing with fruits, butters, and cheese. Lastly, the richest merchants of the village bring coffers full of silver which they set beside the table. To your amazement, instead of sitting down to dine, the villagers then scurry home and start closing the shutters on their windows. What goes on here, you ask? Why do you behave so oddly? The villagers seem quite frightened of you, but one old fellow has nerve enough to reply. This banquet is for the ghosts of free travellers who lost their way in a storm, fell into our mill pond and were drowned. When was this, you ask? 7 years since. They come every year on this night, and if we didn't placate them with victuals and treasure, there'd be a mess of trouble. How do you know that? Old Megan told us, he says. She knows much about such things. You know, this would be quite a sight to see. I apologise for not reading that immediately. I thought I was heading to the Lake of the Dragon to try and get silver. From the cover of a hedge, you wait until dusk. By now, all of the villagers are safely indoors with their shutters tightly barred. As the sky is turning from velvet indigo to the starlit blackness of night, you see 3 pale figures come loping across the green from the direction of the mill pond. They must be ghosts. Seeing the banquet, they utter gleeful cries and start to devour what has been set out for them. I will now attempt a magic check, which is going to be so hard I will probably fail. The moon begins to rise, making the ghosts seem to glow. They sit hunched over their feast like vultures, occasionally stirring their hands in the pile of silver coins and tittering eerily. Well, let's just stay hidden and follow when they leave. Burdened by the heavy chest full of coins, the 3 figures have left deep footprints in the grass, and now it's time to make a scouting check. Now, we're quite good at these ones, so we've succeeded. You follow the footprints to the mill, where you see an old lady and 2 men brushing flour off their clothes. Another successful year's haunting, laughs the woman. Quietly, you creep back and tell the villagers what you have discovered. Brimming with outrage, they go straight to the mill and seize the 3 miscreants. Old Megan! Cries one of the villagers when he sees who is the ringleader of the 3. So you've been masquerading as a ghost for 7 years, eh? Well, tomorrow we'll take you to the gallows, and then you can play the part for real. Out of gratitude, the villagers present you with 80 shards. You do not wait to see what fate befalls old Megan and her accomplices. In theory, they should be taken to the assizes in the nearest town, but feelings run so deep in this case that you suspect there will be some rough justice meted out. You resume your journey. And now 80 shards for richer. Let's go to the Lake of the Sea Dragon and hire a fishing vessel. For 15 shards, absolutely. Oh, this is a problem, okay. You row out into the lake, spread the net and wait to see what happens. After an hour or so, a great bubbling and frothing of the lake disturbs your solitude. A massive, scaly head the size of your boat erupts out of the ochre-coloured water on the end of a long, sinuous neck. Great luminous green eyes look down at you. The The creature is covered in brown scales with a bright red crest running from the head down its thick, ropey neck. I am Vase, the sea dragon, it says in a rich, creamy voice, tinged with evil greed. To fish in my lake you have to pay tribute, to wit, 1 silver nugget. Pay now or face my wrath. I don't have a silver nugget. Before you have time to react, the dragon's massive tail smashes into the keel of your boat, lifting it out of the water and breaking it in two. You're pitched into the sulphurous lake with a rabid sea dragon closing in, intent on swallowing you whole. Uh-oh. We are lucky. Somehow you manage to evade the creature's jaws and swim back to shore. Hauling yourself up onto the beach, you are assaulted by an angry villager. Where's my boat? He cries. You've sunk it, haven't you? You city types don't know a thing. Well, you'll have to pay me back 50 shards at least. Ha ha! You reply. The cost of hiring it was more than it's worth in any case. It's, as far as I'm concerned, that boat was mine to do with as I liked. What kind of outrageous uppity upstart are you? I mean, 50 shards is a lot to pay for a fishing boat. The argument goes on all the way back to the village, but eventually the fisherman gives up and storms off. We'd better leave town quickly before it gets any worse. Right, I should be heading back here to try and see the Druid. And I get money from its priest. Wonderful. Into the Forest of Ruin. Exactly where I should be. Where I can pass a scouting check and then probably fail a sanctity check. Yep. So we wander around and get lost. You know, 50 shards, let's mine for silver. You're led to a rock face in the mine. You start digging. Oh, this is going to be a rough roll. Hey, we found a silver nugget. That's great. Now, where I wanted to buy silver nuggets, I can't remember, but I'm going back down south to the Forest of Warun to fail that sanctity check again. It's got to happen eventually, right? Hey! You're pious enough to be allowed to enter the sacred grove. You step in and knock on the door. A kindly old druid opens the door and greets you. You hand him the oak staff. Oh, thank you, says the druid. An oak staff, eh? That's an interesting message, to be sure. He hands you 50 shards as payment. Oh, this is great. And a willow staff saying, please take this staff to the oak druid in the city of trees on the Isle of Druids. I'm sure he'll reward you too. Good day and thanks again. Let's take that with us. We don't seem to have... What? Oh no, we paid 50 for mining. Got it. Let's venture deeper into the forest. You hack your way through the undergrowth until you stumble across an old ruin. Creepers and forest moss have grown over most of it, and you can see mask-like faces set into the walls, glaring down at you, as if in angry outrage at your intrusion. You come to a massive stone slab, clearly a door. Set in the middle of it is a round granite face, the visage of a sleeping demon. Suddenly, an eye pops open and regards you curiously. By the tentacles of Tantalon, exclaims Face in a gravelly voice. A human? I haven't seen one of you lot for 100 years. An expression of suspicion forms on its rocky features. What do you want, anyway? Just passing through, you comment airily. Well, you can't pass through me unless you know the password. And that was given to me by Astralis, the Wizard King. Let me see now. 1,000 years ago by Oberon. This is his tomb, you know. Tantalon. Tentacles of Tantalon. Does anyone remember the Tasks of Tantalon? Oh, what a challenging book. Oof. I mean, you had to really... I mean, you had to basically know the answers to go looking for them. So the Task of Tantalon was a wonderful picture puzzle book where the challenge was to find clues hidden within the illustrations. They were beautiful illustrations, and piece together some puzzle at the end. There was like supposed to be a prize of £1,000 or something to the first person to solve it. And it turns out that the clues you were supposed to be finding were written microscopically small, so that you actually had to, like, you know, not even a magnifying glass, but you had to actually use a microscope and scour the entire of each image to find it. It was like, yeah, nobody knew that. We don't know if anybody ever succeeded. Well, how do I find the password then? Well, says the demon door, Astralis was a wizard, so why don't you ask some wizards? Where would I find some wizards, you ask? How would I know, replies the door, testily. I've been stuck here for 1,000 years. Well, let's head off. Off to the main road, where nothing bad happens. We'll go down here to the roadside tavern, where we'll rest up and get our health back. And then head down to Trefoil, where there might be a wizard we can seek. The main road between Marlock City, Trefoil and Karambaru is well maintained with regular guard posts. The Sakarans are nothing if not efficient. And thus nothing bad happens to us. We still can't visit Olifard or Wizardly. Shame. So we'll have to find a way to find a wizard. In the meantime, let's go back down to Yellowport, drop off this staff for the Druids. Wait. Okay, sell for 200. On the 50 we paid for it, that's a good profit. So now we need to worry less about selling that. However, let's go buy some more arrows. It would be nice if there was like a double click to then get an amount slider to say how many arrows you want. Or a way of purchasing in bulk. So we go to the Isle of the Druids. I'm liking the idea of buying a ship at the moment, I really am. But let's head off down to the forest. And we will hopefully succeed a scouting check. Now, into the forest of trees, the tree lets us through again, and we'll go back to the Legion of Druids. You give the willow stalk to the oak druid of the City of Trees. Ah, thank you, the druid intones, going on. A willow staff, eh? I see. As a reward, the druids lets you train with the City of Trees' best hunters and trackers, and we gain a rank! Oh, I wasn't expecting that! Your maximum stamina points are increased permanently by 2! As a result, you gain a rank in your defense. Oh! That's good. In the original game books, a rank was just like roll a die and get that much stamina. So we haven't gained as much stamina as we might have expected. We could have expected like 1 or 2 more points maybe. But a permanent point of defense is really good. When you're ready, you can leave the City of Trees and return to the trading post. Yeah, I'll do that. So, we get to be rank 2. I honestly didn't realise that was the upgrade quest for a Wayfarer. I thought it'd be something else. Although it did make sense, really. Now, I have a few concerns here, right? Because if this was going to be like the original Gamebook series, then every country like Saqqara, Golnir, Old Harkuna, Utaku, Great Steppes, and the Violet Ocean would have an upgrade quest in it. right? Can I? Oh, I can. Okay. And currently we have Saqqara and I believe the Great Steppes included as playable areas. I have a horrible feeling that we only have one rank up quest for each character class available and not two, so we can't get to rank 3. If we should be able to get to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in theory. And I have a feeling that the difficulty of encounters has not been reduced. And I do know that like Saqqara was like the level 1 area, Golnir was like the level 2 area, Great Steppes was like the level 4 or 5 area, so I don't want to go there just yet. Another concern is that we are getting a lot of ability score points. Yeah, we've increased scouting, and we know that we can increase pretty much all the others by doing a quest as well. If we're going to be getting ability score points as we rank up as well, they better not be in the main abilities, but my point being, as we get frequently showered with ability points, quests will become significantly easier. However, is this a good place to buy a ship? That's not... Is that cheaper? Oh, they're just not buying ships at all. I should check on furs. Let's go back to Yellowport. So if I go down here, cargo, furs sell for 170, so that would be a 35 profit. Okay, let's see how this would go. So that would be 250 plus a crew, 300. We wouldn't have enough to purchase any goods. But maybe, hang on, and how do we invest? The Merchants Guild of Yellowport is a large building of granite, plushly decorated inside to show off its wealth. Here you can bank your money for safekeeping or invest it in guild enterprises in the hope of making a profit. You hear that the guildmaster is looking for adventurers. Well, hold on, let's not be too hasty. Let's look at investments first off. So invest 100 shards. You can invest money in multiples of 100 shards. The guild is willing to buy and sell commodities on your behalf using this money until you return to collect it. Don't forget that you can lose money as well, mutters a sullen merchant. The guild charges 10% on any withdrawals as it's cut rounded in their favour. Well, as I don't know what the odds of making money are, I think it may well be rat time, but that we'll have to wait for a future episode, because I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I do look forward to seeing you all in the next one, where hopefully I'll be less sleepy and making silly mistakes, like going all the way over to the island of the Druids before picking up this willow staff. Cheerio everyone, see you all next time.